Unable to find his range there, and Nurmagomedov floors him.
There's that shot. It was a leaping upper.
Khabib looks like he may be looking for a Kimura on the left arm of Michael. He's looking.
Have you ever wondered what's brewing in the rugged mountains of Dagestan and Chechnya to make them the undisputed champions of combat sports? How does this small, seemingly quiet corner of the world churn out warriors like Islam Makhachev, Khabib Nurmagomedov, and Artur Beterbiev with such stunning regularity? It's a story as compelling as the fighters themselves, one that's rooted in history, discipline, and an unshakable belief system. Let's dive into the why behind this powerhouse region and explore how a perfect storm of culture, history, and faith has shaped an entire generation of elite fighters. 1. A wrestling culture forged in adversity. The Caucasus Mountains have long been a crucible for resilience. This isn't a region of comfort, it's a proving ground that forges its people through adversity. In Dagestan and Chechnya, survival amidst political turmoil and conflict cultivated a toughness that found its outlet in wrestling. Here, the sport is a tradition steeped in grit and determination. During the Soviet era, wrestling became a cornerstone of national pride. The government poured resources into programs designed to churn out Olympic champions, birthing the legendary Soviet wrestling style known as Sambo. For many fathers in this region, wrestling wasn't optional, it was a necessity. Children were introduced to grappling as soon as they could walk, with the sport becoming a symbol of strength and discipline. Today, Dagestan alone is home to over 15,000 registered wrestlers, with countless more honing their skills in local gyms and community centers. Wrestling mats are as ubiquitous in Dagestan as soccer fields in Europe or basketball courts in the US. The region's geography adds another edge. High-altitude training boosts endurance, while the rugged terrain builds physical toughness naturally. In these mountains, wrestling is a cultural heartbeat. It's where young athletes grow stronger, both in body and spirit, fueled by a legacy of perseverance and an unyielding drive to conquer whatever stands in their way. 2. The Khabib effect, turning grit into glory. Every movement has its trailblazer. For the Philippines, it was Manny Pacquiao. For Brazil, Royce Gracie and his family's legendary jiu-jitsu. And for Dagestan, Khabib Nurmagomedov, who transformed the region's gritty wrestling tradition into a global MMA phenomenon. Khabib didn't just build a legacy, he crafted a blueprint. His meteoric rise to an unbeaten 29-0 record wasn't just about dominance in the octagon. It was about reshaping the narrative of an entire region. Before him, Dagestan was known for its rugged landscapes and tough upbringing. After him, it became synonymous with world-class fighters. Central to Khabib's success was his father, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, a coaching visionary who fostered a culture of relentless discipline and resilience. Abdulmanap's training programs combined Soviet-era wrestling fundamentals with innovations tailored to MMA, creating a new breed of athlete. Under his guidance, Khabib's grappling-heavy style emerged, a pushing mix of suffocating pressure and technical brilliance that left opponents gasping for air and strategists scratching their heads. Khabib inspired dreams. Suddenly, young Dagestani athletes saw a tangible path to international glory. The footage of Khabib as a child wrestling a bear became iconic, a metaphor for the kind of toughness required to rise from the mountains to the pinnacle of MMA. His success also put a spotlight on the region's training systems. Dagestani fighters became renowned for their unmatched endurance, technical precision, and mental fortitude. By the time Khabib retired, the message was clear. Dagestan wasn't just a hub for fighters, it was a factory for champions. So, if you think your local gym can prepare you for a world title, think again. In Dagestan, you'll need to train with more than just humans, perhaps even a bear or two. 3. Religion, the discipline factor. A key ingredient in the success of Dagestani and Chechen fighters is their unwavering faith. The region is predominantly Muslim, and adherence to Islamic teachings profoundly shapes their discipline and lifestyle.
Everything's God gave me.
In this world, distractions like partying, drugs, and alcohol don't exist. They're haram. Fighters grow up immersed in a culture that prioritizes faith, family, and training above all else. This structured way of life eliminates the noise and temptations that derail so many others. It's not just about avoiding bad decisions, it's about channeling every ounce of focus into their craft. This laser-sharp discipline creates an environment where champions are almost inevitable. But it's not just discipline that their faith instills. It's also a deep sense of humility and respect. Dagestani fighters don't view their opponents as enemies, but as challenges to overcome. This perspective, grounded in Islamic principles, keeps their egos in check and strengthens their mental resilience. Khabib Nurmagomedov, for instance, is a vocal advocate for staying humble and grounded, even in the face of international fame. Faith is a guiding force that shapes their character and conduct. These fighters carry themselves with dignity, making them not just exceptional athletes, but also role models for the next generation. In Dagestan and Chechnya, faith isn't just a belief system, it's a lifestyle. And in a region that thrives on grit and determination, it's the foundation that forges champions. 4. The domino effect, a legacy in the making. It only takes one trailblazer to spark a movement. But when you pair that with a community eager to follow suit, the results are exponential. Khabib's rise has created a domino effect, inspiring kids across Dagestan and Chechnya to see fighting not just as a dream, but as a legitimate path out of poverty and into the global spotlight. Every new champion from the region, whether it's Islam Makhachev dominating lightweight MMA or Artur Beterbiev delivering knockouts in boxing, adds fuel to the fire, pushing the next generation to aim even higher. The region's gyms are buzzing with activity, filled with young boys and increasingly girls who see MMA and combat sports as their ticket to success. Coaches like Javier Mendez, who worked with Khabib at the American Kickboxing Academy, have noted that the fighters from this region possess a unique mix of humility, work ethic, and raw talent that's hard to find elsewhere. 5. Training beyond the gym. The training regimens in Dagestan and Chechnya are legendary for their intensity. Fighters often train in grueling conditions that mimic the challenges they'll face in the ring or octagon. Sparring sessions are notoriously tough, and the emphasis on grappling drills ensures that every fighter develops a solid foundation. But training doesn't stop at the gym. Many fighters engage in activities like mountain climbing, swimming in icy rivers, and running on uneven terrain to build mental and physical toughness. These unconventional methods create athletes who are not only strong, but also adaptable and resilient. 6. A tight-knit community. In Dagestan and Chechnya, the community plays a crucial role in a fighter's journey. Success is not viewed as an individual achievement, but as a collective effort. Families, friends, and even entire villages rally behind their athletes, providing unwavering support. This sense of community fosters accountability. Fighters know that their success or failure reflects not just on them, but on their entire region. This pressure, rather than being a burden, becomes a motivating force that pushes them to train harder and perform better. 7. Challenges and the road ahead. While the dominance of Dagestan and Chechnya in combat sports is undeniable, it's worth noting that other regions are also stepping up their game. Countries like Georgia, Nigeria, and even Uzbekistan are producing world-class fighters who are making waves on the global stage. Moreover, the rise of MMA as a global sport means that training techniques and strategies are becoming more accessible. Fighters from different parts of the world now have access to the same level of expertise and resources, leveling the playing field to some extent. That said, the unique combination of cultural, historical, and religious factors in Dagestan and Chechnya remains unmatched. These regions have created an ecosystem that continues to produce champions, and it's unlikely that their dominance will fade anytime soon. Will Dagestan and Chechnya keep dominating? The short answer? Absolutely. These regions have built an ecosystem where toughness is inherited, discipline is non-negotiable, and the path to success is clear. But let's not ignore the global competition. Countries like Brazil and the US still boast exceptional fighters, and newer hotspots like Georgia and Nigeria are emerging with serious talent. The playing field might be expanding, but Dagestan and Chechnya have something special, a combination of history, culture, and faith that's hard to replicate. So what do you think? Will Dagestan and Chechnya continue producing combat sports legends, or is the world catching up to their winning formula? Could the next Khabib or Islam be training in a remote mountain gym right now, preparing to dominate the global stage? And do you think another region might rise to rival these powerhouses anytime soon? The beauty of this story is that it's far from over. The fights are just as thrilling as the stories behind them, and as the world of combat sports evolves, there's always a new chapter waiting to be written. If this deep dive into the untamed spirit of the Caucasus Mountains has you hooked, smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an epic breakdown like this. Stay tuned, we've got more tales of grit, glory, and greatness coming your way.